Hello and welcome back to Sports Talk Live. Thanks for joining us again. Today we'll discuss West Chester field hockey, soccer, football, as well as an introduction to this year's basketball season. Lastly, we'll finish up as usual with some outside the horns to discuss both the Eagles and the Sixers. As always, we enjoy your feedback, so be sure to let us know what you want us to talk about here on STL by going to our website, sportstalklive.net. Let's kick off this week's show with our field hockey team.
Well, it's been a while since we've given out this award, so congratulations Michelle Schrift, who's this week's Ram of the Week. Schrift was recently named PSAC East Athlete of the Year for field hockey. She not only led the Rams, but the entire conference with 23 goals and 7 assists for a combined 53 total points. Being ranked 4th in points in the entire country, as well as having 3 game-winning goals, it's easy to see why Michelle Schrift is STL's Ram of the Week. Guys, with the way she's been playing, if she keeps it up, is there any team that can knock out West Chester in the NCAA tournament?
Well, Riley, I don't see any reason why they can't repeat as not only PSAC champions like they did, but NCAA champions. They have the players, they have the returning athletes, and they won it last year, so they have the confidence. I see them going all the way and actually winning it.
Well, I agree with you there, Taylor. The only thing I could see slipping us up is the fact that we're the #1 seed and we weren't given home field advantage, which I think is a little weird. But we're a good enough team. There's no reason why we can't get past that and take home another national title.
All right, well, guys, first up, they have to play #2 Shippensburg in the semifinal game on Friday, November 9th. And then assuming they win that game, they will advance to Sunday's championship game where they will await the winner between #4 UMass Lowell and #7 Merrimack. Do you guys want to kind of break those games down for us?
Well, for me, I think the first game against Shippensburg will be the toughest. They're ranked 2nd, and actually the second game of the season, we played them and we actually lost to them. So I think if anyone can have us slip up, it's going to be Shippensburg. They might have the keys against us, so we need to beat them. And if we do that, I think they'll go all the way.
I'm just going to point out here that Merrimack and UMass Lowell, so if we get past Shippensburg, we're going to have to play one of those two teams. Both of those teams are going to be seeking revenge against West Chester because, as we all know, UMass Lowell, we defeated them in the national championship last year, and in Merrimack, we defeated them in the first game of the season this year. So both of those teams are going to come back firing because they want to get revenge on West Chester. But like you said, it is going to be a good test for Shippensburg, and in the end, I think we're the best team in this entire tournament, so there's no reason why we can't bring home another national championship.
Taking a look at women's soccer, they have not played yet this week after losing to Slippery Rock in the PSAC tournament. After receiving a first-round bye, their first game of the NCAA tournament is Sunday the 11th at 12 p.m. They will play the winner of Gannon versus West Virginia Wesleyan. Fortunately for the Lady Rams, they are playing here at West Chester, so be sure to come out and show your support.
After losing a tough one to Bloomsburg this past Saturday, 24-23, the West Chester football team's playoff chances came to an end. They have one game remaining this upcoming Saturday the 10th at Clarion for a 1 o'clock start. So guys, unfortunately this season didn't end the way that we wanted to, but taking a look at next year, what are your guys' thoughts on our football team?
Well, I mean, we're going to be losing a couple key seniors. On the offensive side of the ball, we got Mike Matei graduating. Our quarterback, he was in the system for 5 years. He was kind of a quiet leader. He let his playing do the talking. So we're going to miss that. It'll be interesting to see if the backup quarterback comes back strong and takes that spot. On the defensive side, John O'Donnell, our safety, he had the respect of the whole team. It'll be very interesting to see who on the defense side of the ball will step up and fill those shoes that he leaves behind.
Riley, we can't forget the people that are coming back, though, next year. Star running back Rondell White and one of our leading tacklers, Ronell Williams, on the defensive side of the ball, are two guys we really should look forward to next year. They've been playing great. They help lead our team, and they're not seniors, so they'll be back. And hopefully with their team leadership, they can help the young guys the next year and moving forward.
Well, Taylor, you are exactly right. It's going to be those young guys that are going to need to step up for next year. And fortunately for us, we had some freshmen get some legitimate playing time. We had, as a wide receiver, Adam Dempsey. He got his first touchdown this year, so that's always good to see. And then on the defensive side, we had Andrew Cohen, really always getting sacks and getting his name in that stat book. So it's always good to see for them to build up their confidence. It's going to be interesting to see if going into next year how they can improve. But with the returners that we have, I think we're going to have no problem going into next year.
The basketball season kicked off this past Sunday as both teams played exhibition games against Division I opponents. The men traveled to Illinois as they put a scare into the Fighting Illini, losing by only 9, 75-66. On the women's side, the Lady Rams stayed local as they traveled to St. Joe's, where they can hopefully take a lot from their game as they lost to the Hawks 92-46. Guys, after their first exhibition games of the year, what do you see moving forward with these teams?
Well, Riley, for the men, I see us having a really great season. We lost some of the key players. We lost Lance McDowell. We lost Khalif Foster. So those are big losses. But coming back, some of the leaders like Carl Johnson and John Breeden, I think are going to play great. I mean, they've been there. They had the experience. And moving forward with some of our young guys, some of our transfer students that are looking really promising, I think we're going to have a really good team. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get all the way back to how we did last year.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then taking a look at the women, obviously, we lost our 1,000-point scorer, Allison Hostetter, but we do have Alex Lennon returning.
Right.
That's going to be a really big piece. And the way we ran our 5-in, 5-out system, a lot of people got playing time last year. So that's always nice to see because they're going to be ready coming into this year. So people like Amberlyn Ortman and Paige Elliott, if those girls can step up, I think they're going to really have a good season.
Brian, speaking of Paige Elliott, she actually had a chance to meet up with senior Alex Lennon to talk about their team. Let's take a look.
Good evening, this is Paige Elliott, and I'm here with starting forward Alex Lennon for the Westchester women's basketball team. Alex, do you want to tell us a little bit about the season last year?
Last season was definitely an experience. We went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 7 years, I believe, and we made a run for the PSAC championship, which is one of our top schools and has been for the past couple of years, since I've been here at least. We lost a couple key players, which hopefully we will get replaced or somewhat close to being replaced by the incoming freshmen this year. So we're very excited. We're very saddened about what happened at losing to Edinburgh 3 times in one season, which is statistically not normal. But we're eager to see what's going on for this year.
What would you say some of our weaknesses are and some of our strengths are for the team this year? Like you said, we have a lot of new freshmen that came in. We lost Allison Hostetter, we lost Shamira, we lost Jill. So we have a lot of people coming in, and actually as of now we have 2 freshmen starting. So you want to talk a little bit about our weaknesses and our strengths?
I think our weakness and our strength is in and of the same. It's the fact that we are a very young team. So there are inexperiences Shira Newman and Mosley and stuff, that they have the experience, and even coming off the bench for Millersville and Bloomsburg and Shippensburg even, they have players that have played in the past year in this conference, and it's a very competitive conference. But in the same, our strength is that we do have, new bodies. We do have newcomers that are willing to learn and willing to get better, and I think that could definitely be used as far as our depth in the season.
One thing, I don't know if you guys know, but if you come out to a game, you'll see that we play the system a little bit differently. We have 2 units, 5 in and 5 out every 4 minutes. Do you want to elaborate a little bit about the season that we play, or the system that we play? I'm sorry.
Sure. The system is very frantic. It's very fast-paced, very, very, very fast-paced. You have to be in shape in order to play the system, which is kind of with our strength, being the fact that we do have so many players on the team, with the newcomers being fresh bodies and being able to sustain the long season that we have. So with that being said, being able to have 13 people, 14 people that are able to play in this conference will definitely help us in the end of the second half. When everyone else is tired, we have new people coming in that necessarily have only played 20 minutes in the game, and so that definitely, the wear and tear from the season definitely will help us at the end of the season.
Well, like she said, our season is definitely kicking off. We have a scrimmage on Sunday against Widener University, and then next weekend on Saturday and Sunday we have a tournament for the opening games at 3 p.m. So make sure you guys come check us out. It's Alex Lennon here, Paige Elliott, and that's all. Thank you guys for watching.
All right, well, thanks, Paige, for that insight. We look forward to the Golden Rams' upcoming season. The men kick off their regular season at home this Wednesday the 14th at 6 o'clock against Chestnut Hill. The women don't start until next weekend, where they host the Carol Ekman Memorial Tournament beginning Saturday, November 17th at 3 p.m. Be sure to come out and show your support for Westchester basketball. Let's finish up here on STL with some Outside the Horns. Last week's poll question was who should be the Eagles' starting quarterback versus the Saints. Nick Foles won with 75% of the votes. Well, guys, maybe Andy Reid should have listened to our viewers, considering how dreadful of a game that actually was to watch. But what are you guys' thoughts on the Eagles this year?
Well, guys, I went with Nick Foles last week, and I'm still sticking by it. As you see, the audience agrees with me, but you can just see Vic just kept playing inconsistent. I can appreciate the fact that the offensive line's getting hurt and the defense still isn't what it should be, but Vic just has to play more consistent. And going against the Saints defense, which is at the bottom of the league on most of the defensive categories, he's just not playing well enough. He's just not doing consistently enough, and we have to give this guy a shot.
Well, I agree. I would like to see Nick Foles in that starting lineup, but obviously, as Andy Reid said, he's sticking with Vic this coming Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, so that should be interesting. But as well as Vic has had his struggles, like you said, it's the offensive line. They're giving him no time. At times, he's getting the snap, and someone's right on top of him. But in the end, the great quarterbacks find a way to get the ball out and get the job done, and he hasn't been able to do it, so I think it's time to give someone else another shot.
I agree with you on the offensive line, but it's to a point where it's just, I don't think anybody you put in there in that position is going to be able to succeed. I mean, in one instance on Monday night, you had an inside guy got beaten, and Vic turned to get away from it, and he got hit by the defensive end who beat the outside guy. You can't have your offensive linemen getting beat one-on-one blocks as much as they have been. Personally, though, I think they should reach back and rehire Juan Castillo as the offense coach because he did a better job.
Now let's take a look at the Sixers. They're 2-2 overall with their most recent win over the Hornets. With 5 of their next 7 games at home, what can we expect from this young Sixers team?
Well, offensively, this team has struggled a little bit. I mean, as we kind of expected, they don't have Bynum. They do have some new faces, so until they all get worked into the system, they're going to struggle a little bit. Defensively, though, they're still playing just as well as they did last year. They held the Hornets to 62 points, which I don't care who you're playing. It's an NBA team. That's pretty impressive on my part. With 5 of the next 7 games at home, I'd be very surprised if this team is not over 500 at the end of that stretch.
Well, guys, all things considered, we're 2-2, we're 500, and that's without Andrew Bynum, so I don't think anyone can be too upset with that. The one thing that is making me nervous is that Andrew Bynum is not back yet. So we've played 4 games in the season, and there's still not really any timetable to when he may return. So I don't really know if that's the Sixers, nervous. They don't want to tell the fans that he's not returning anytime soon, or they really just don't know because it's that type of injury. But whatever it is, it's going to take a little while for Bynum to mesh with this team. So the longer that takes, that's just more into the season where our team's not going to be fluid. So that's the one thing that's making me a little nervous.
Brian, I have to agree with you. But in the meantime, your boy Spencer Hawes has been playing great, scoring the basket, scoring the ball, rebounding, and even blocks. So he's been doing everything. Is he the same type of player that Bynum is? No. Does he have the same amount of talent? Probably not. But he's doing a good job in the meantime. And moving forward, at least until he gets back, I think we're going to have a really good team behind him, behind Drew Holiday, behind Evan Turner and all those guys. I think we're very consistent, and I think we're just going to get better as the season goes on.
With the unanswered questions of when Andrew Bynum will return, that's going to be this week's poll question. When will Andrew Bynum make his Sixers debut? Be sure to visit our website, sportstalklive.net, to cast your vote. But that's all the time we have this week on STL. Be sure to visit us next week, same time, same place. Take it easy, Westchester.